Hello, Capricorn. This is your reading for October 2025. Remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And wow, look at that. We're opening the reading with the Tree of Life Oracle. And this is severity. This is might, discipline, and karma. This is a pretty intense omen for October, right? I think it's going to be really a bold month for you. I think maybe big moves. I think maybe a lot of hard work, but a lot of leadership, a lot of independence. Yeah. I'm Paul. This is Dove and Serpent Tarot. Let's deal the rest of our cards. All right. We're going to use the Dove and Serpent spread. Immediately, we have the card of change. Right. So the might, the discipline, the karma. That's going to allow us to implement changes. Oh, look at that, opportunities. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles now. Here we have the Hermit. We have the Hanged Man. We have a Prince of Pentacles. Look, this is a very steady building up of something for you. And we have the Lover's card. Look at that, it's nice too. Very good. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords. We have the High Priestess, your intuition kicking in. We have the Sun card, joy, success, vitality. This is beautiful too. Okay, this is a lot of success, and the Sun card here just makes the entire reading feel more positive, feel more confident. Okay, might, discipline, and karma. Yeah. I think karma here in this case is really saying that, like, this month you've got to focus on your deeds, your thoughts, your actions right now, and how they are leading to certain consequences for you. Because that's the nature of karma, right? Cause and effect. The things you do now are going to bear fruit at some point in the future. So you're taking charge of that. You're really going to use your power this month, and you're going to make decisions that you know are going to have very positive, delicious, very sweet fruit in the future here, okay? And we have that Ten of Swords as well. Ten of Swords is a good card to me. To me, that's a card of, like, we're getting away from something that is pointless. That's something, the Ten of Swords is something in your life that does not need to be there anymore. To me, it feels like freedom. It feels like we're getting out of a bird cage. Yeah, very powerful stuff here. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with our little sea turtle friend right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Let's take a look around the room here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards. That's a lot. That's half the reading is the majors, okay? So I think that this really is, it really is about you stepping into your power this month and being decisive and really choosing those things that are going to bring about the best possible outcomes for yourself, okay? It's really, really a month for bold decisions and not even necessarily big changes. Right, we have this Two of Pentacles right here. And what else? We don't see any fire. We see our majors. We don't see fire. We don't even see any water, right? We see some air, and we see a bunch of earth energy. Okay, it's real. So this is about, I think, the behaviors, right? This is about the things that you're actually doing in life and what those actions are sort of doing for you, okay? We start with the Two of Pentacles. This is a card of change. Maybe a good month to consider what your priorities are, okay? Maybe a very good month to start new routines, to make positive changes, to change little things, like the way that we perform certain tasks. How can we optimize that behavior? Okay, we're going to stay flexible, but I think we're really taking charge of the daily. To me, this kind of feels like it's a day and a night, you know? So it kind of feels like the smaller, shorter cycles of life, like just our day. In any given day, what do you do? Yeah? And how can you optimize your day? How can you make changes about your days that are going to lead to more of the good stuff, basically, right? So this is kind of this is an adaptability card. This is, in some ways, this is how you juggle the world around you, or how you respond to the shifting currents of life around you. Okay, when life shifts one way, you have to sort of shift the other way to maintain your center of gravity. Okay, so I feel that you're very flexible right now. You're very adaptable, and you're willing to respond to what the world is bringing you. It's not really a card of control. This is a card of how we respond to what the world is sending us. So I feel like this month for you, it's going to be a month of really like claiming our power and saying, there's something I can do. I don't have to just, Hanged Man, I don't have to just go with the flow of everything that's going on around me and just say, well, life is just happening to me. No, because I think that we have a choice in how we respond to life. We may not be able to control everything that's going on out there, and I don't feel like you're trying to. I feel like you're controlling your responses. You're controlling what you're doing. Yeah. So I think that this is a good month for you, having that kind of discipline and strength to react to life in a way that's going to bring about more of the good things for you. And I think that's very important. I think also you're making some minor changes. You're changing little things about your daily routines, about your habits. You're not making really big changes, but you're just tweaking things a little bit. Okay. Now we also have our Ace of Pentacles, and to me it feels like this is maybe a fresh start. This could be for some of you an opportunity to do something different. We don't have to respond to the world in the way we always have. We could do something new this time. Maybe this is going to be a good month for, doing something different with your money. Maybe this is something that is going to affect your health and your well-being. Maybe this is us responding to our work situation in a different way. Okay, it might be a good month to really start planting seeds and to start considering how we can, it's kind of like, let's say if it's at work. Let's say you got your job, and we could be experiencing our workplace in a certain way where we feel like not much I can really do to change anything. I just have to kind of go with it, and I have to just really adapt and try to go with the flow. I don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to lose our job, right? But I think that we can still be proactive. We don't have to just wave the white flag and say, I surrender. I think that we can look for other opportunities. We can find things that maybe it's really saying that we need to think about other choices, that we can go with the flow at work, but can you be looking for another job too? So I think that really with the 2 and the Ace of Pentacles here, it's saying like, you're not just locked into one response to life. There are other options out there for you. And I think that October is going to be a very good month for you, Capricorn, to consider other options. It wouldn't hurt to drop a resume here and there, fill out an application, just because. It wouldn't hurt to go on an interview or two. Okay? It wouldn't hurt for you to look around for some other things that you could do if you decide that where you currently are is not for you anymore. Okay? And I don't think your situation is all that terrible. But I do feel like you're trying to keep your options open this month. And you're trying to at least bring the awareness that I can start new things, that there might be something better for me. Maybe I could take a step up somewhere. Maybe there is kind of an opportunity out there that if I'm paying attention, maybe I'll see a doorway that I should go through that doorway. I think it's definitely a month for realizing that you're not stuck anywhere. And I'm basing that off that Hanged Man that we see back here, because this feels kind of stuck. this feels like we're in a situation that we put ourselves here. We agreed to work here or whatever. We agreed to be in the relationship, or I agreed to live in this house or whatever it is. But to know that we're not stuck and we're not just at the mercy of the current, of the tide, right? That's either going to bring us success or failure. That we have things that we can do. That we are not just here trying to maintain our balance, but we can say, hey, maybe I should go somewhere else where there's more, I kind of feel more attuned to that energy, and we can use the example of the workplace. That this isn't just, we're not just at the mercy of the boss who's either going to give us more money or not, or fire us or not. We can always be open to other opportunities, so that when the chance does appear, or when we realize that maybe I don't want to stay here anymore, that we already have an idea of what else we could be doing. It's almost like we always have to be working on another plan or the next step. Not even saying that we're going to take that step right away, but that we can. And we feel strong enough, we're claiming our strength, and we're using our discipline here, and we're understanding karma, that maybe 6 months from now, I'm not going to want this job anymore. I have to be thinking ahead. Let me plant some seeds now. Let me stay open, and let me keep my eyes peeled for the next good opportunity or the next good investment. Okay. So I feel like this is going to be, for a lot of you, this is going to be a month of realizing that there are other things out there that we could invest in, other doors that we could go through if we decide we want to. And I don't think there's anything terrible right now, but we do have this hermit under the surface. Okay? And I kind of feel like this is what's in your heart. And it may feel in your life right now, whether it's at work, at home, at school, in your relationships, personal life, professional life, whatever. It may feel as if you're kind of like, you're not really connecting where you are, It's kind of like if you're at work, you're flying under the radar. If this is at home, you're just trying to not be noticed. If this is at school, it's just, you feel like you're kind of like you don't belong, you're like an outcast. And that's what I'm feeling here. So it feels like our heart is like, we're just not finding the connection with what we're doing. And maybe this is like, I have to stay anonymous. Like, I don't want anybody to notice me, because that's going to rock the boat, And it's like when the boss comes walking down the hallway or whatever, you try to stay real quiet. You don't want to be noticed, And, I think that maybe right now is a month for you, Capricorn, to consider why. Why don't you want to be noticed? We see the Sun card over here too. See, everything connects. The Sun card's over here in the fear. We're afraid of being noticed. And maybe it's because you're not in an environment where you feel comfortable being noticed, or you feel like attention is going to be bad. And it may be for some of you that in whatever situation you're in now, at work, at home, at school, you're not feeling connected. It could be that this is that hermit energy inside of you that really wants something else, that wants to go on your own journey. You want to go off trail. You want to go wandering through the desert. You want to cut your own way through the jungle. You may be feeling called to enter a dark, scary forest of uncertainty. Yeah. Because it could be that your current situation is too predictable, or it's too, it's too limited, maybe. The options might be too limited. So you might be feeling this hermit energy as like a call, a wanderlust, a call to an adventure that might be saying like, I want more options. And I think it could be, the town you're living in. It could be the job you're in, the relationship you're in. It could just be that feeling of life. Like, I just feel like my options are like nothing. Like, I got 2 things. That's it. That's not a lot of options. I think it's a month for you, Capricorn, in October, realizing you have way more options than you notice. Okay? Way more options than you notice. Now, please hit the like button. Really, that helps out the video. It makes sure that it gets pushed out to everybody that needs to see it. Okay? I appreciate that from you. We have a Hanged Man. I forget to say that nowadays. I used to say it all the time. Now I forget. You got your Hanged Man back here, and this, I think, is really important because this is energy coming in from the past. It's last month. It's kind of like, it's the energy that's still lingering. And this is like a surrender. Yeah? This is like, I've resigned myself to being in this situation where if the boat tilts to the left, I tilt to the left. If the boat tilts to the right, I tilt to the right. And we're just going with the flow. We're just moved by whatever the world, whatever current, whatever energies, whatever pressures are around us, that's what's moving us. Okay? And this kind of feels almost like we've just said, well, this is my life now. Yeah. Where we've resigned ourselves to being in this position with the limited options or no options at all. We've sort of surrendered to it. We've given up in a way. We just said, well, this is where I'm going to be, And I had a job like that. God, the last job I had, I was there for 15 years. It's the job I had right as I was transitioning here into YouTube. And there was a time in my life where, after about 10 years, I just said, well, I guess this is where I'm going to retire. I'm not even that old. I said, I guess I'm going to be here till I'm like 70, 80 years old, probably. I just said, I guess that's my life now. Because I felt like I didn't have any other options. There wasn't a lot of other jobs to go get. I didn't know what to do. And so what did I do? Flew under the radar. Tried not to be noticed. I was maybe if I just put my head down and I do the work, and I don't cause trouble, and I don't draw attention to myself, I can be here until I'm 60, 70, 80 years old, and then I can retire, and that's that. I think what you're realizing, as I did, is that there are other options out there for you. Whether this is a relationship, or it's the job, or it's just life, or it's where you live, or whatever. There are other things that you can do, okay? And it may feel right now that this is a lack of progress. It may feel like we're just kind of making ends meet. That life is happening to us, and crossing my fingers hoping it's not too bumpy of a ride. And that's where we get that 2 and 3 of Pentacles. The water flows to the right, and we go with it. Rather than the water flows to the right, and you know what? No, I don't want to flow to the right. I want to stay going down the middle. And sometimes that's a bad thing, because you know what that causes? Friction. That causes friction. When you're trying to go straight, but the road underneath you is curving like this, it's good to adapt. It's good to stay on the road. But what the hermit wants to go off-road anyway. So in October, Capricorn, you may be feeling that you kind of you don't want to just have every day be like business as usual. It may be a feeling of, I want to rock the boat. I want to feel like this boat is actually going somewhere. Because that highway hypnosis, when the road is too flat and too smooth and you're going at a consistent speed, it doesn't feel like you're moving. We like the bumps in the road. We like to kind of move the wheel a little bit because then it reminds us. We like to speed up, slow down, because then it lets us, physically, it brings about that awareness that, oh, I'm traveling through time and space. I forgot, So I think that when things are too normal, too consistent, too limited in the options, when everything is the same, it starts to feel like Groundhog's Day, yeah? So I think we like to shake things up a little bit. And I think that's the hermit that's kind of saying, I want to just go out on an adventure where there's no trail. I feel every bump of the road, I feel every stone under my sandal here. And so I feel like it's a good month to explore other options for your life path that might bring about more fulfillment. You've got your Prince of Pentacles up here. This is what's on your mind, while this is what's in your heart. What's in your heart is, I want to go off trail. What's on your mind is, how can I just be consistent? How can I stay the course? How can I fly under the radar? How can I do, the best? How do I come in? That's what, this is the builder, right? What do I always say about the Prince of Pentacles? They come in, they clock in, they do their job, they clock out. Don't ask questions. I don't raise concerns. I don't speak up. I certainly don't draw attention to myself. I'm just a worker bee. I'm just a worker ant or whatever, right? And that's good. It's good to be somebody that can do that. So, when I come in, I clock in, and that's it. Do what I got to do, stay focused, do a good job, I go home. That's life. Yeah. But then in your heart, you've got this wanderlust. You've got this kind of energy that just wants to walk away from something. Wants to go get lost in the forest, wants to have a different experience. You want to have a vision quest. You want to have a walkabout. You have to forgive my voice. I'm still really under the weather here, but I'm showing up. Yeah. The Prince of Pentacles, it's a wonderful card. It's very reliable, very practical. Saying, of course, I need this job. Pays the bills. I don't want to rock the boat because then I'll lose the job. I won't have the money and won't pay the bills. So we need this, but at the same time, we need to find something that's going to satisfy this. Because this is in your heart, and this is only going to get worse if we ignore it. Yeah. So I think that's where our Ace of Pentacles comes in, which is saying maybe there are new opportunities. Let's keep our eyes open for new financial prospects, new investments, new people, new places, new things, new doorways, new jobs that are out there, other options. Always be open to other options. It doesn't mean that you have to take the first one that comes along, or that you have to act on any of these. This is a seed. This is something that's not manifested. It's a potential. Yeah. The Ace, the 2, and the 3 are potential energies, not kinetic. We don't connect it until we put it into action, until we put something in play, until we act on the ideas here. But Ace, 2, 3, right? We realize the potential that we have and that our life has, and we're now becoming aware that there is kind of a third option. We're aware that there is something else that I could do that's not just this or that. I either go left or go right. Bored with left and right now. We're finding a third direction. And at least to know that it's there. Sometimes I look at the Ace of Pentacles and I say, this is Spirit giving us the gift of an exit. Yeah, and I find that resonates with a lot of you. Resonates with me. It's the gift of an exit. It's knowing that I could always go do something else if I needed to. If things get that bad, I can go and I can be okay. Why? Because we've already recognized other things that we could possibly go do. It doesn't hurt to have a backup plan. It doesn't hurt to know what it is that you might want to do if you decide that you don't want this anymore. Okay. It's going to be a very interesting month for you. I don't think any big moves are happening this month. I think this is the month of planting some seeds, checking the newspaper, kind of thing, checking the classified ads or whatever, if those even still exist, and just seeing what else is there. Maybe just the mental work, the thought experiment, kind of thinking, what else might I want to do? If I decide I don't want to do this anymore, or be here anymore, Where do I want to go? Okay, because we don't want to just sort of up and leave. I never actually just like said, you know what, screw it. I get in my car, I just drive away, leave all my stuff, and I just go to a dusty old town somewhere and get a job at a gas station, and I just start a new life. I never actually did that. I had a plan, you know, and that tends to work out a little bit better than just tower moment, spontaneous, completely uprooting everything on a whim and just say, nah, I'm done. I'm going to go, right? So I think that it's important that you recognize what your options are in life. Again, might, discipline, karma. Might, strength, yeah. The severity, your ability to take decisive actions, your ability to act boldly. And, you know, maybe this is more present than I thought for this reading. And we don't have any fire here. But maybe this is lighting a fire. Maybe this is giving you that strength and that might to know that you can. Now in the future position, towards the end of the month, and I think even into next month, Capricorn, you get this Lover's card, choice, okay? This is you deciding on something from the heart. This is the card that says 1,000% heck yes to something. So it's the knowledge that at any point in the future, whenever I want, I can devote myself to something else. If I feel called, if I decide it's time, if I say, you know what, today's the day, we can execute the plan and we can commit to something new. You're choosing with love. You're choosing connection. Maybe it's kind of saying that, you know, the situation you're in now, maybe it seems like that connection isn't there anymore. And maybe you're not making any big impulsive moves now, but toward the end of the month and into next month and toward the end of the year, maybe you're going to find something that makes you want to say, heck yes. You know, maybe don't rend your clothes, but you don't have to just make a change just to make a change. I think you're doing, like I said, with the Two of Pentacles, I think it's a good month to just sort of, you know, to optimize, to tweak things, and to kind of, you know, do those small changes. Because maybe that's going to be enough. Maybe the small changes will be enough to kind of keep things going for a while longer. How can we just make things a little bit better, a little bit easier? What little adjustments can we make? Small changes, you know. I think that's good. But maybe you make the small changes and you realize that it's not enough. Maybe the small changes will work. That'd be great. I just tweaked a few things and now I love it again. Maybe not. Maybe, but I think we have to try that first. You don't just give up and abandon something. Maybe you can rearrange a couple of things first and see how you feel. And either the Lover's card will be a recommitment to what you're doing now, or it's going to be, you know, the Hermit mode is kind of saying, well, no matter, even though these changes, you know, happened, maybe you tell your boss, hey, I'm not happy. Your boss says, okay, well, maybe you want to get a plant or something, get a little cactus for your desk. Okay. Maybe you want a little extra time off. I don't know. Sure. Okay. You want maybe a seat by the window. Okay. And you see, maybe that's enough. And you say, you know what? That's all I needed. Maybe this is your creative work. And maybe it's just a matter of like, you're not feeling it right now. Well, maybe you do need a change of environment. Maybe it's saying like, take a day off. Maybe it's saying, go do something outside instead. What little things can you tweak this month to see if it puts things back into alignment? Okay. And if it doesn't, then maybe a bigger change is needed. But first, try the small things before we do the big things. But this is now that commitment. It's either a recommitment and a reunion, and you're reconnecting with what you're doing, or you're connecting with something else. Okay, because I don't think that you can live much longer without having this kind of connection to something. And I think this is the month for you, Capricorn, October, to make the small changes to see if you can realign. And if not, then maybe next month we consider taking a bigger change, okay? Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. Oh, by the way, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Really helps us out. I appreciate that. Okay. The Knight of Swords here is a rather impulsive decision-making kind of card. It's kind of saying that, like, we don't want to leap into something right now without a plan. That wouldn't be wise, okay? But we do want to move quickly. We do want to figure things out sooner rather than later. This is a card of swiftness, of mental force and fortitude and might, a mental might, you know? And so this is decisive actions. This might be even confrontation. But I think it's important that you have the plan. You want to move fast, but you want to wield the sword with care. Okay, so the things that you're going to do this month, the little changes, the little tweaks, okay? Make sure that you're approaching them responsibly and with etiquette and, you know, be polite. And I think also think of the long term. Think of your karma. Think of the things that you're doing today and how it's going to affect the future. Think of your long-term plan and make some contingencies. Make some plan Bs and Cs and Ds. Ask yourself, if this doesn't work out, what am I going to do? If I decide that I want to leave this, where am I going to go? What exactly is my plan? And not just say, well, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to go get something else. I'm going to go meet somebody else. I'm going to go live somewhere else. I'm going to get another job. Okay, yeah, obviously. That's just like the seed idea. Yeah, okay, but flesh it out. What does that actually mean? Step by step, you know. And I get that a lot when I talk to people, and they kind of tell me what they want to do in life. You know, and it may be like, you know, I want to get a better job. Okay, cool, yeah, that's great. It's a great goal. How do you get there? Well, I don't know, I'll find one and I'll go get it, you know. I think we need to know, like, what exactly does that mean? Okay, well, you look for it. Where? Under a rock? No, you go online. Okay, where? You know, how? What websites are you going to go to? You're going to go to LinkedIn? You're going to do the monster? Remember that? How do you find a job these days? Okay. You know, and to know what the goal is and to know the steps to get there, you got to have an actual plan and not just the wish and not just the goal in mind. This is what I want. Okay, you got to be able to flesh out that plan. So I think this is a month for you, Capricorn, for October, is to make the small changes in your current situation and start thinking about what your long-term goals are, and come up with a few plans. They don't have to be detailed, super detailed plans, but just like, if this doesn't work out, what are a few things that you could do? Okay. Now, one thing you could do is follow your intuition. You got the High Priestess in your relationships, in your environment. This is mystery. This is secrets even sometimes, okay? I feel like this is really a call for you to step back and listen to your inner voice. You've got to trust what's going on beneath the surface, because your High Priestess and your Hermit are talking. And they're kind of saying the same thing. And I really feel that, you know, your intuition, like something inside of your heart is kind of calling you to a different life, a different adventure, something new. Like you really do want this connection. You want to feel like you're part of something. You want to feel, I don't know what exactly it is you want to feel, but I think it's important that you pause and you listen to what this Hermit is telling you, because the High Priestess is your intuition. And your intuition is trying to lead you to your absolute very best life, trying to lead you to paradise. So I think it's a month of trusting that intuition And no matter how much you might tinker with this thing now, your intuition is going to tell you if it's working or not. Very simple. That's why we don't have a lot of swords cards here. The swords cards are you trying to convince yourself that either it does or does not work, or trying to figure it out, trying to reason it out, trying to do the math, the pros and cons list, no. Trusting, what does it feel like? What is your heart telling you? Right now, your heart's telling you, hermit. Going our own way, let's go to the dark, scary forest. Let's take a step into uncertainty. Okay? And this is about you really being open and receptive to what your true self is telling you about your life right now. And whether or not you're kind of following your true path, following your starlight, or if you're trying to really contort yourself to stay in this situation that you're in now. Because you're very adaptable. But just because you can adapt to the current situation doesn't mean you need to, doesn't mean you should. Okay? So a lot of intuition happening in October for you, and I think it's important that you trust that. You look for the signs, and you listen for that voice inside of you. Now, we have the sun here as well, which is joy, success, vitality. I think that this is the fear, or this is the hope, right? And in the situation you're in now, I feel like you're afraid that it won't be successful, that you won't be able to shine, that you won't have freedom or openness, that you won't feel the confidence, that you won't feel like you are radiating your best self here, that you won't experience the joy, because that's what you're hoping for. And so when I said, I don't know what you want to feel, yeah, I do. You want to feel seen. You want to feel recognized. You want to feel appreciated. You want to feel like you have an impact. The sun has the strongest impact on life on Earth, right? It's like the biggest force out there that has an impact on our lives is the sun. Without it, I can't even imagine, right? So I feel like you want to be recognized. You want to shine. You're hoping for a situation or for a life where you can be authentic and you can be seen and you can let your light shine. And that you can experience that joy of putting yourself out there and being successful, And I wonder if this situation is just not it. If this is one where you don't really get to feel like you're making a difference, or you don't get to feel seen, or you don't feel appreciated, or you don't feel like you can even be yourself. You have to be a certain way in order to fit in. The hermit doesn't fit in. Hermit doesn't want to, really. Hermit would rather choose authenticity than acceptance. Okay? Fitting in is not your goal. Being yourself is your goal. Okay. And then, of course, the 10 of Swords is getting out of the birdcage. It's the recognition, if it comes to be. Okay, it's the recognition that of any time, and this is the destiny card. This is going down into the future for you. You have this ability to recognize when something is no longer meant for you. You have the ability to recognize when something is a dry hole, when something is desiccated, when something is pointless, when something no longer serves you. You have the ability, the discernment to recognize when something needs to end because it's no longer nourishing. And I think first you're going to be proactive. You're going to try to make it work. But if it doesn't, you have the clarity, you have the discernment and the confidence and the might to recognize when something should end. This is the birdcage. I know, okay, you know what? This job has become a birdcage, and I need to strategically exit with a plan, of course. Do it the right way. But anything in life. So this is that destiny card for you. And this is your recognition. Anytime something has grown to be a prison or something that you're attached to is not nourishing for you anymore. This is like the bones of a fish. You know, in the cartoons, Garfield will hold up the bones of the fish. That's what this is. There's no meat there anymore. There's no sustenance left. Okay, I tried to find sustenance. It wasn't there. I can see it, and I can move on. No big deal, really, you know. So I like this card. It's a good card. Now let's look at the mystery card. I would like this to be the Empress. I would like it to be a very nourishing environment for you. I would like it to be your best life in your Emerald City and your sort of perfect happiness, you know. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. 3 of Swords. Yeah. The 3 of Swords is heartbreak. 3 of Swords is sorrow. You know, the 3 of Swords is maybe a breakup. You know, maybe it is a painful realization. Yeah. The 3 of Swords, to me, kind of feels like it is, it's the recognition that despite your efforts, something might not really feel right for you. Does that make sense? It may not ever feel the connection in this situation that you're in. The 3 of Swords is also asking, if you recognize that this is no longer nourishing to you, why on earth would you stay there? Yeah. Sometimes this is the card that's like, it really is like a breakup card. It's a card of loss. Okay. But I think sometimes we have to be willing to recognize, go through the painful truth in order to get the good stuff. I think everything's shifting in your favor. We've got to be honest about what needs to be let go of. But I think you're gonna try. You're gonna be proactive. You're gonna put in the effort to try to fix it. And if it doesn't work, then okay. Now, if you want to go even deeper, click on through to the extended reading. Just hit the join button down below. In the extended, we're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to pull oracle cards. We'll clarify love and money, and we'll do a yes/no coin. I thank you, I love you, and I'll see you there.